guys, it's Chantel with Wildberry Quilting, and today we are doing part 2 of our spooky sew along. So one of the most terrifying experiences that I can remember, and I do have a few scary ones, but this was definitely up there. We were driving down the back roads in Pennsylvania, and this was way out in the middle of nowhere. These roads are very windy and they have very steep drop-offs on either side. And they are really out in the middle of nowhere. So it is very late at night, and as we're driving, we're just discussing the events of the day. Nothing too much is on our minds. We're just having a regular conversation. We go around one of these corners and I see this, I don't want to say creature, but I don't want to say person, because this was something I can't explain. Off the side of the road, there is what looks like a man on the other side of the metal railing. And this does not look like a normal man. He is just bright red everywhere. And think of how the guys look in the Blue Man group, where they're just blue everywhere. Well, it was just like that, except for he was red. And it was very much the imagery that you would see in the old school depictions of like the devil, with the very exaggerated sharp features. So this being wasn't just standing on the side of the road. They were behind the barrier, that metal railing on the side, because it's a sharp drop off. It drops off maybe 20 or 30 feet where this thing was standing, and there shouldn't have been ground underneath him to stand. And it was just standing there peering out at the road. Now, I'm not sure if it was trying to decide if it was going to cross or if it was watching traffic, but I stopped mid-sentence and just gawked out my window and pretty much hollered, "Did you guys see that?" And sadly, nobody else was looking out the window at that moment. So my husband at this point is slowing the car down, and he's like, "Should we go back? I want to go find out what it is." And I am just like, no, don't even slow down. Go, go, go. I am not somebody who frightens easily, but this thing was scary. He's starting to slow down. He's ready to turn around and go look. And I'm like, no, I don't know what that is, and I don't want to find out. So keep going. So he did. He kept going, but the whole way home, I am trying to Google and figure out if there have been any other sightings in the area of anything that's even remotely similar to what I had just seen. But of course, it's very difficult to do that because I'm not sure how to describe what this thing was that I saw. It had, I mean, short of calling it a devil or a demon or a red man, like, what do you call this? And no, it was not wearing any clothes, but I did only see it from the torso up. But everything that I saw was entirely red, and it did not, I mean, I want to say it didn't look like it was paint or anything like that, because it was completely covering this person, and they would have had to paint themselves entirely, like how the Blue Man Group paints themselves, and then gone out into the middle of the woods at nighttime. This was probably maybe 10 o'clock at night, because it was summertime and it was already dark out. There was very little light on the road. And oh, it was just like, what is that? So I would be very, very curious to know if anyone else has had any kind of experiences with something similar to that. Even if you just know what to search for to kind of figure out more about what that creature was, or to find other sightings, it would be really interesting to find out more about it and know exactly what it was I saw that night, because it was definitely very creepy and it had a feeling to it that did not seem pleasant. And I'm not somebody who scares easily, particularly when it comes to paranormal type stuff. And you know, I say paranormal, but that might not even be the right term for what I saw. I mean, it could have been some kind of creature that just looked human, or who knows what. All I know is it freaked me out, and I don't think I've ever been so grateful that I had my window up as I was in that moment, because if my window had been down, I would have only been maybe 2 feet from this thing. The side of the road was just right outside my window. And we went back through that area again the next day. We found the exact spot, but there was nothing there that could have looked like what I had seen. No pareidolia or anything like that that could have been mistaken. We wanted to find out and make sure. So tell me in the comments, have you ever seen anything like that you just couldn't explain, that you didn't know what you were looking at? I'd love to hear your stories. And if you don't want people to see that it's you, feel free to send me an email and tell me there. I will only share your stories if you are okay with it. But I would still love to hear them anyways. The other update that I have is regarding a creature outside of our home. So early Saturday morning, one of my neighbors came to my door. He just wanted to let us know that a coyote had been going back and forth between our yard and our neighbors. And this sweet older gentleman, he just wanted to make sure that the kids were all safe and that we were aware that, you know, the coyote was out there and could hurt them. So I was so grateful for him coming and letting us know. So of course at that point I contacted our other neighbors who have little ones in the neighborhood and just let them know that there was a coyote going through behind in our yard. And we actually got to see the coyote. We were wondering at first if maybe it was a mama with some pups, but it doesn't seem that she had any with her, so, or he, I don't know whether it was a she or a he. But I managed to get a couple of pictures, and I'm going to try to insert those at the end of this video so you guys can see our little coyote friend. We just told it that it could rest here for the day, but that it needed to move along in the evening and find a different place to stay because it wouldn't be safe here for him or for the children in the neighborhood. And it did, it moved on. The next day it was gone. It just had hunkered down that one day and stayed pretty much the entire day, but then was gone in the morning. All right, guys, this is our finished spooky boo table topper. Now, I did switch my ghosts around so that they are facing each other. The pattern had them facing away from each other, but my kids decided that they really wanted the ghosts facing towards each other, or else it looked like the ghosts didn't like each other. So, of course, I acquiesced and I made the ghosts face each other. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.